This is Rob Tubbett for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten welterweight star of the future, Paddy Donovan. We're here in Dublin following your interesting workout today with Andy Lee. How are you, Paddy?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah. Good, very good. As you can see, we're in good spirits here and we're training hard, so can't complain.
It's a little bit frosty in here, but there was plenty of a workout to keep people nice and warm today.
Yeah, it's quite cold, so we've no other choice to put ourselves through the pace and get warm in here. You know, it's very, very cold.
Now, I've actually seen quite a lot of you in the last few weeks because I was out in Las Vegas, but I didn't have time to catch up with you. So first of all, how was Las Vegas? You had yourself a bit of a trip over there.
Yeah, Las Vegas, absolutely brilliant, you know what I mean? Got to go out there and got to train alongside the best fighter in the world, Tyson Fury, and very glad that Andy got me out there, and I'm very happy to be training with the best. And Las Vegas was beautiful, I can't complain. The weather was good, food was good, people was nice, so I enjoyed it. Can't wait to go out again.
Is it the first time you've been?
First time being there. I've been to America twice, once to Boston, I fought the amateurs in Boston, and the second being Las Vegas.
What was it like? I mean, a lot of people's first trip to Las Vegas, keep it clean, it can be an interesting one depending on wherever you're going. What was it like for you? What did you make of your first sort of day in Las Vegas?
The first time, the minute we got there, Andy took me on the strip, you know what I mean, and seeing them bright lights and seeing Tyson Fury up in them posters and it gave me goosebumps, and I just want to be out there more and training with the big boys and please God down the line, have a big fight out there and be up in them lights like Tyson.
I actually spoke to Andy about this. I spoke to him about it today, but it's something that we've spoken about in the past about how Emmanuel used to take him to big fights and used to have him as part of the team and work in the corner and carrying the buckets and things like that just to get that experience of moving forward. Does it make you think, does it make you dream ahead, years ahead about what it could be like for you?
Yeah, of course, you know what I mean. It's great to be working with Andy, and Andy has a lot of knowledge of the game between him and Adam Boot and Emmanuel Stored. Now he's dropped all that down to Andy, and now Andy's putting what he's learned into me and Jason. And just we're absorbing everything and learning it as much as we can and trying to do it in the fight.
So that was Las Vegas, but let's talk about you. Did a little bit of reading about you on the way over here. You've got some interesting tales. So let's try and start at the beginning and work our way forward from there. Why boxing? What brought you to boxing?
What brought me to boxing was my dad was a boxer. Families all their life boxing, and my granddad has the Mike Tyson tattoo, so my brother's a boxer, all boxers, and came up the whole way doing it in the gym, and the whole way up along, and just kept going, kept winning national titles, kept doing well out abroad, and built up a good record, and I think signed for Top Rank.
That's one of the interesting stories that we were talking about. Not that you signed with Top Rank. That's interesting in its own way, but it's not every day that you speak to somebody whose granddad has a Mike Tyson tattoo on their face. That's one of the things that I read about today. Tell us about that. How did that happen? I can't imagine my granddad with a Mike Tyson tattoo.
A couple of years back, maybe 7 or 8 years back, he came out to our house, and I have a sister. She's quite a good sketcher, so he asked her to sketch it out. And we thought he was joking. He said he was putting it on his face. We obviously thought he was having a laugh, you know what I mean? Next day I seen him with a big Mike Tyson tattoo, and the rest is history, you know. He's stone mad about boxing. He's crazy about Muhammad Ali and Tyson, and that's it really. He just got it done.
See, I like how you just just got it done because you wanted to get it done. It's just nice and casual. You mentioned working with Andy Lee. You're both from Limerick. What's that like for you? I'm sure over the years you looked up to Andy Lee. You saw Andy Lee box on the TV. What's it like for you to now not only know him, but he trains you now? Yeah,
obviously Andy is Andy, you know what I mean? He's an idol of mine, and he's from the one city. He's a southpaw, tall. Andy has absolutely everything. He speaks good, talks good, and he fights good. And in Limerick, he's well appreciated in all of Ireland, everywhere it goes. And coming up along, I was looking at Andy fight and got to come to one of his fights in the UL college, and got to get on TV that day, so. And I just came up looking at Andy, and it's a privilege for me at 21 years old now, to be training and being coached by Andy Lee, and I can't ask for any better. Couldn't ask for any better.
Well, I spoke to Andy about 18 months ago in Wilder Fury 1 fight week in LA, and he never mentioned anything about coaching, anything about training fighters, and then all of a sudden, you come along, Jay comes along. Explain to me how that happened. How did you reach out to Andy? Did Andy reach out to you? How did it happen that you came to work together?
I was just fighting in the National Stadium, and Andy came and he was looking at all the fights. He's kind of, not that he was scouting, but he had an eye out and he seen me, and we kind of went from there. He got in touch with me, and we got up here and we got training and everything was going good, and Andy really liked me and said we can turn pro and we can become world champion, and of course I hopped in that bandwagon straight away.
What was it like turning pro? You enjoyed enormous success as an amateur, 13 national titles. What was it like turning pro? Were there nerves in the belly even after all of those fights?
Yeah, there was nerves, but I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to turn pro, and obviously with Top Rank, the best in the business. And when I heard them wanting me, it was like there was no ifs or buts about it. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to turn pro and to become world champion. That's my goal, you know.
Now, people who are watching this interview won't believe what I'm about to say because you're so fresh-faced and young. But you are married. You have a young daughter. How is that affect? Because it's something that usually happens to fighters towards the end of their careers. But it's happened to you right at the very start of your career. How has that affected your boxing career and kind of the way you approach life, really?
And the way it affected my career, it hasn't really affected my career at all, you know what I mean? And if anything, it makes me motivated and push me forward and push me harder, you know what I mean? I have a wife and a little kid now to look after, and I have to train, I have to get myself in the gym, and I have to make money and support for my family, and that's what I'm doing.
Andy give you any parenting advice? Julia's not that much older.
Yeah, Andy's doing a good job with his family, so I get to look at him and learn stuff from him too.
Now, one of the things that I've looked into and one of the things that I've read about is obviously the fact that you're from a traveller background, as is Andy Lee, of course. What does it mean to you? I mean, you mentioned about your family and your brother and your dad and everybody fighting, and for people who kind of look from the outside in travellers and boxing, I mean, just go and watch any amateur show and any amateur talent. It's full of traveller kids beating people up, really, in the tournaments. What does it mean to you coming from that kind of fighting stock, and what does it mean to you to be a fighter, a boxer?
As I said, like the likes of Tyson Fury is a big example for young kids coming through, like myself and other little kids, Gypsy and traveller kids coming through. Those be very, very talented coming up along, and they be winning nationals after nationals. But when they come to the age of 16, 17 years old, 18 years old, they decide to turn over and get married, and they put the gloves down, which I never did it, but a lot of kids are doing it coming up along. And then Tyson Fury becoming heavyweight world champion and being a Gypsy, and is motivating not just me, but all them kids as well. And I'm so happy to be a Gypsy when Tyson is champ.
I was just about to say that. He's the Gypsy King, and you've spent time around him ahead of one of the biggest heavyweight fights. I mean, in 20, 30 years' time, people will still be talking about Wilder Fury 1 and 2. What was that like for you? That must have been surreal.
Yeah, as I said, it's Tyson Fury, just being in the one house with him, walking around, going jogging with him, going to the gym with him, and seeing the way he acts, the way he talks to the media, and the food he's eating and everything he does. And I just want to take it all in and absorb it and put it into myself, and then down the line produce it and start doing it myself and become world champion.
Now, something that I just said to your stablemate Jason Quigley is Mr.
Jason who?
people will understand if they watch the other interview. Bob Arum had some interesting things to say, as he always does when he's really talking about anything, but certainly his own fighters. He said that you were the best looking fighter since Muhammad Ali. That's pretty high praise.
That's not bad. I like to hear that. I wish I can fight like Ali, but they're nice compliments to be hearing of such a high profile man, and I love just hearing things like that.
What's it been like working with Bob? Bob's worked in boxing for 200 years. So he's been around, he's seen everything, and yet he's still got this kind of zest for the sport. He still loves the sport. You'll see him watching pretty much every undercard fight. What's it like working with him and having him guide your career? Yeah,
it's brilliant working with him, you know what I mean? It's Bob Arum. He's the first fighter to sign Muhammad Ali, and now I'm Paddy Donovan. I'm signed with the same promoter, and just that thought alone is just giving me goosebumps, you know. Even at Tyson Fury's fight the other day, I came in at like 3 o'clock to watch all the undercards, and he was sitting there with about 12 people in the whole stadium. He was one of the guys who was sitting there, so that can tell you how much he loves boxing, and that's Bob, you know.
Before I let you go, he wouldn't forgive me if I didn't ask. Jason Quigley.
Yeah, I was thinking we better get back to this fella.
Had some very, very complimentary things to say about yourself. Obviously, he's slightly further along in his professional career than you are. But what's it like sharing the ring with somebody like him? I mean, I'd imagine when you were coming up as an amateur, he was still kind of finishing up as an amateur, you enjoyed an enormous amount of success, silver at the World, a European champion. What's it like to share the gym with him, somebody who's experienced the same things that you experienced?
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to be training with Jason. Jason is a tremendous fighter, a tremendous athlete. He doesn't drink, he doesn't eat bad food. He trains every single day, and fellas like that, it's a privilege to be around, and he's such a talent. As you can see, Golden Boy signed him at a young age. It was the world number 2 at the time. So I got to see that coming up along, and that gave me the motivation as well to push on to turn pro. But Jason is a tremendous lad, a perfect lad in every kind of way, and I'm so happy to be working with Jason.
Okay, well, before I let you go, when are we going to see you back in the ring? What's your last fight live? I think it was live on IFL. Bit of a dirty word on this channel, but that's fine. Spectacular performance, another impressive performance that earned you rave reviews. When can we expect to see you back in the ring? Is it going to be in the UK? Are you going to box out in America?
The 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day, New York, in the Garden. That's the next fight, and looking forward to that. Training is going good. Everything is going perfect, so just we're on the decline now in training and getting ready for that big fight, and I can't wait. That's
going to be some night. Boxing on St. Patrick's Day, Madison Square Garden. What's that going to be like?
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Michael Conlan is the main event, and Michael Conlan is another wonderful fighter and a wonderful person, and I'm glad to be on a big show and a big platform like that and get to showcase my talent to all the New Yorkers and the Americans and everyone around the world.
And I think it's fair to say a fair few Irish will be in attendance as well.
I hope so. Yeah, it's going to be packed and bruised if this coronavirus stays away. But yeah, expecting a big crowd. Obviously, every year it's going to be full, and I just can't wait to get out there under them bright lights and all that Irish people behind me roaring on my name and get to show them what the real deal is about.
Okay. One thing I did want to ask you before you went, the Real Deal, obviously made famous by Evander Holyfield as a nickname. What was it about the Real Deal that appealed to you? Where did that nickname come from?
The nickname really came from a friend of mine that passed away. He was murdered last year, 8 months ago. I turned pro and I put it on social media to pick a nickname, you know what I mean? So people was texting and commenting what to pick. And he texted me, everyone texts once, but he decided to text 3 times and he kept an eye in my head to pick the name. And then after he passed, I seen the message. There were so many messages. It was only a couple of days before he passed. Then I seen the message, and when I seen that straight away, there was no going back in it. That was going to be the name, the real deal.
Move over Evander Holyfield. Paddy Donovan's coming through.
I'm the next. Goodbye, Evander.
Paddy Donovan, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. It's been a real pleasure. First time we've caught up, hopefully not the last. Look forward to seeing you back in the ring on St. Paddy's Day.
Well, by God, thank you. Thank you, Rob, for having me.